So, as the film story starts, we are shown some students who were stuck in the school till night due to their work. They were friends at that time. While working, suddenly the light goes off. They were having a ball. Then Shinozaki makes a paper doll and tells a story to all of them in candlelight. A story of a little girl who got wiped from an elementary school. Actually, people believe that the school was cursed, where first a nurse was murdered in a strange way, and then 3 children disappeared in a day. 2 of them were found after a few days from the school, and 1 girl is still missing. No one knows where she went. Shinozaki says, "The interesting thing is that our school has been demolished." As soon as he said this, the light came back here. Then his teacher also came there. All these children are asked to go home. Before going, Shinozaki tells everyone, "Hey, wait. Listen to the ritual related to that story. It is believed that if the doll of the missing girl is made and some spells are said, and then that doll is held together and torn apart, and its pieces are kept carefully, then the friends who do the ritual will never be separated from each other. If we do this ritual, then we will always be together as we are now." Hearing this, everyone agrees to do the ritual told by him. And together they hold that paper doll, say some spells, and tear that doll apart. Now everyone was happy but excited that they will always be together. But then suddenly there is a commotion in their school. The ground started shaking and breaking in a strange and terrible way. They didn't even get time to run from here. And suddenly everyone got stuck in that ground. Where these people fell, it was a dark place. From far away, they saw lights coming, where they're taken by their teacher. And coming here, they know that because of Shinozaki's ritual, all these people somehow got into the same elementary school whose story he had told. There was no way to go outside to find out about things. These people look around, so they get a book which was written about the same ritual. That whoever does that ritual, he reaches another universe, which is just like an elementary school, and they are cursed. In this universe, the story of that girl's disappearance is hidden, about which no one knows. While studying here, they suddenly heard a strange noise from outside. Immediately, a girl went out to check. Someone hit her head with a hammer in such a way that her head and face were torn, and she died there. Seeing her terrible face, all the children got scared and ran away from there and separated from each other. Here Naomi had fallen on something. Because of this, she had a sprain in her leg, and when she got up and looked down to see what she had hit, her friends were shocked to see that there was a rotten, dead body downstairs, on which insects were walking. And seeing this, she fainted. Seeing this dead body, they also found out that not only her, people have already been trapped here after doing that ritual, and whoever comes here, he is killed. Here, Naomi's friend who was with her. She picks him up and brings him to the medical room. Her bandage is gone. Naomi always had a diary with her. Her friend sees that her diary has fallen somewhere. She goes to find it, and in the meantime, Naomi comes to her senses. She felt that her friend had cheated her. She left her here. With difficulty, she gets down from the bed. She found a strange pendant here, which she picked up, and as soon as she picked it up, 2 souls suddenly attacked her. She sees that both the souls were of small children. To ask them, she runs away from here limping, but she couldn't run too far. She fell on the way, and here she met her friend, because Naomi had told her that her friend had left her. That's why Naomi calls her very badly. She doesn't even take her help, and sadly, her friend runs away from there. As soon as the other girl left, Naomi started hearing a strange voice. Hearing this, she started having pain in her ears, and then she fainted. On the other side, we are shown Satoshi and her sister. When they were running in the hallway, they saw a lot of corpses in the hallway. Satoshi's sister was very scared to see this. Now she had to go to the washroom. Satoshi takes her to the washroom, but then her sister disappears from here. She was very scared. She hadn't come out of this trauma yet when a soul appeared in front of her, which was bleeding from her mouth. Seeing this, she got scared and screamed, and that soul also left from there. Here we see Shinozaki, who was still reading the same book and was looking for a way to get out of here. According to this book, he finds out that the nurse and 3 children who were killed by the soul of the school coordinator. 1 girl was still missing, and when she found 2 dead bodies, her tongue was cut off. No one knows what she did with the 3rd girl. Finally, through this book, he finds out that there is a ritual here by which these people can go back to their world. But the page of that ritual was torn from here, and it was difficult for them to do this. These people now decide to find that torn page. When Shinozaki comes out of this room, she finds Naomi's diary in the hallway. When she picked up the diary, there was a picture of Naomi and Satoshi in it. They were very good friends, but Shinozaki also liked Satoshi. So, seeing this picture, she got very angry, and she decided to hide this diary. In this diary, Naomi had also kept her doll page. Anyway, After keeping the diary in her pocket, Shinozaki goes to a room with her friend, where she sees her other classmate. That classmate was talking to two souls here. Even without being afraid, she made these two souls her friends. She wanted to find the reason why these two souls are stuck in this world, and give comfort to these two souls, and take them to the world of souls. Shinozaki also tells the same thing to her classmate. Her classmate was very scared seeing these two souls. He tells this girl to stay away from these souls. And hearing this, both the souls get angry, and they vent their anger on their friend, that is on this girl, and they pick her up and hit her on the wall, so that the pieces of her body become pieces, and all the pieces stick to the wall. Seeing this, as if both of them were not conscious, the scene cuts, and we are shown Naomi, who was unconscious in the hallway. And now when she regained consciousness, she was in the washroom. When she looked ahead, her friend's dead body was there. It seemed as if she had died. Seeing this, she got very scared. She couldn't understand what had happened to her friend. She was now blaming herself, that she had treated her friend so badly, that she took her own life in grief. In shock, she sat in the washroom for a long time, and then Satoshi came to her, who was scared because of his sisters missing in the washroom. He sees that Naomi had an injury on her foot. She was not able to walk, so he picks her up and sits in front of her. Here, his old class fellow now comes to the room, in which those souls had killed a girl by hitting her on the wall. Seeing the pieces of the girl's body and blood on the wall, he went crazy. Shinozaki and his friend now reached a strange room, where a fridge and some tapes were kept. They found some tongues in the fridge. They understood that these tongues belonged to the children, whose souls they had seen. They thought that if they gave these tongues to the children, they would be complete, and the souls would go back to their world. Here, we see Satoshi's sister, who was followed by the principal's soul. To escape from her, she hides in a room. In the same room, the principal's soul sees that crazy boy, whom he hits in anger in such a way that his head completely crashes. Seeing this, Satoshi's sister got very scared. Before she could scream, a little girl comes here, saves her, and takes her away. After the scene is cut, we see Satoshi and Naomi again, who came to the same room while walking, where Shinozaki was also there. The tape that Shinozaki received from this room is given to Satoshi, but when he plays it on the computer, he finds out that this video was made by him, who had written that ritual book. Earlier, in that writer's book, it was not told about the disappearance of that girl. And to complete the same story, he also came back to this world by doing the same ritual, because he knew that after knowing the story of that little girl, he would do the ritual again and go back to his world. But unfortunately, as soon as he came here, one of his companions was killed by the principal with a hammer. Seeing this, these 4 children get very scared. After this, the writer says that I will not be able to complete this ritual, because to complete this ritual, it is necessary to free all the souls trapped in this world, which I cannot do. He had the same page in his hand at this time, which had the ritual of going back to the real world. At the end of the video, he gets frightened, but through this video, Satoshi finally finds out about that paper. He had now found a way to go back to the ritual. He now wanted all the pieces of that paper doll, which they tore and reached here. Here everyone had their own pieces, but Naomi did not have it, because Naomi had kept her piece of paper in her diary, and her diary was lost. But fortunately, only Shinozaki got that diary. Now Shinozaki gives Naomi a piece of paper, saying that it is a torn piece of the same doll. Although we saw that she was lying, she did this because she is jealous of Naomi, because Satoshi loves Naomi, and Shinozaki wants to live with Satoshi. She knew that if Naomi's piece was fake, she would not be able to go to the real world. And in this way, Shinozaki and Satoshi will live together. Anyway, after giving this piece, now Shinozaki goes with her partner to both the souls, whose tongues she had got from the fridge. As soon as they take these tongues, both the souls become happy. As soon as their body is complete, the school gets light. But Shinozaki and her partner see that those souls were not free. They were not gone from this world. It means that there was still something that was bothering these souls. Upon Shinozaki's question, these souls touch Shinozaki and show him a video in which they see that the soul of the school director did not kill both the small children, but the soul of that little girl killed, about which they found out that she is missing. Not only this, that girl was still killing people, and to end the curse of this world, they had to stop the soul of that girl. Shinozaki goes with her partner to stop the soul of that girl, where we see that the soul of that girl has already caught Satoshi's sister. She had tied Satoshi's sister to her hands and feet from the bed. She first stabs an umbrella in Satoshi's sister's body, and then cuts her tongue with a scissor. By the time Shinozaki and her partner reached here, she had done all the work of that girl's soul. And seeing this, Shinozaki was left speechless. When she regains consciousness, Shinozaki immediately picks up Satoshi's sister and runs away from there, and we see that the soul of that girl was laughing from behind, as if she was very happy to do this work. Shinozaki and his partner now face the director's soul, who now wanted to kill Shinozaki. But Shinozaki's partner faces that soul to save him, and here he himself is beaten by the soul. After removing him from the way, this soul again turned towards Shinozaki. So one more man, with his partner's courage, picked up a stick lying nearby and stabbed that soul in the body. Thus, that soul died and Shinozaki also survived. But unfortunately, he could not survive because the first soul that attacked him. Because of that, he was now killed. Now after the scene is cut, we see Satoshi and Naomi, in front of whom the soul of that evil girl has come. Seeing this, they were both scared. Satoshi runs away from here in fear, but Naomi can't run away, and she goes and hides in a room. There was a lot of CCTV footage in this room. Seeing this, Naomi remembers her friend, who was killed in the washroom. Now to find out the reason for her death. When the CCTV footage is rewinded, seeing this, she lost her mind, that she had killed her friend herself, not because her friend had cheated her, but because that evil girl's soul had completely possessed Naomi. That is, it had taken over her. Because of this, Naomi killed her friend. Seeing this, she started crying bitterly. She was regretting how she could kill her best friend. Crying, she apologizes to her friend and tells him, "I never wanted to kill you, but I don't know how I did all this." She was talking about all this when suddenly her friend's soul followed her, who tells her, "I know you didn't do it on purpose. That's why I forgave you." Then Naomi's eyes now fall on the computer screen, where she saw that the evil soul was now going to attack Satoshi. She immediately went out to save her. The scene cuts, and we are shown to Shinozaki, who had heard a place for Satoshi's sister's body. At that time, a soul writes a message for her, in which it was written, "You go to the basement." Here Naomi, who had come to save Satoshi, suddenly seeing Naomi, that soul left everything here and ran away. And then Naomi found out that the locket she had picked up from the ground, perhaps this soul had run away seeing her. As soon as these people open the locket, they get to see a VN, the VN of the past, which had all the mysteries of this world. Actually, the evil girl's mother was the school nurse, who was pushed from the stairs by the school director and killed. And that girl had seen this. The girl had seen her mother being murdered. The director also found out about this. And then the director also strangled the girl and killed her. Then to hide these two murders, the director hid the dead bodies of both of them in the basement. And just from that day, that girl's soul had started wandering inside the school, and the curse had begun. Gradually, the girl's anger increased so much that because of her anger, a parallel universe was formed here. After knowing this story, Naomi understands that if these people cool the anger of that girl's soul, then they can succeed in fixing everything. Anyway, these people now see the pendant again, and their VN continues, where they see that after death, that girl's soul was bothering the director a lot. That's why the director went to the basement and cut off that girl's tongue. And to take revenge for this, now this girl cuts off the tongue of whoever she kills. Anyway, now these two go to the basement to solve this matter, where they also found Shinozaki. As soon as these people go there and see that girl's dead body, that dead body suddenly sat alive, and Satoshi was completely scared. While panicking, she picked up a big stone and started hitting that girl's head hard until her head was crushed. Naomi got scared seeing Shinozaki. Naomi told her to stop Satoshi because what she was able to see, Satoshi was not able to see. That girl, that evil soul possessed Satoshi, and in this possession, she killed her own sister instead of the soul. And when this thing is realized, he himself trembles. Meanwhile, that girl's soul starts stabbing Naomi from behind and says, "I will kill you all so that my mom does not remain alone in the world of souls." Hearing this, Naomi immediately shows her intelligence and tries to talk to this soul. She says, "Look, your mom will never want to kill anyone. If you're taking revenge from us, then this is not right." But this soul does not listen to her. She was about to attack Naomi again. That Naomi brought the pendant in front of her this time, because of which she had disappeared earlier. When this pendant was opened, we saw that this pendant had a photo of that girl and her mom. Seeing this pendant, that soul becomes emotional. And then she remembers her mom. And as soon as she remembers her mom, she feels that her mom is hugging her from behind. As soon as she realized her mom's love, that girl's anger was all over. And as soon as the anger was over, that curse was also over. As soon as this curse is over, now this world also starts breaking. Before the world was completely over, she had to get out of here. Naomi slaps Satoshi and wakes him up and tells him to run away from here. They look for the page through which they could go back to their world. All three now do the incantation. That is, they do the opposite of the ritual, and to go back to their world, they mix the pages of that doll present with them. As soon as they do this, the ground shakes. They see a bright light, and finally, they reach their world, their school. As soon as they come to the world, Naomi is shown to us first, although she also had a pendant, and we also see Shinozaki sitting next to her. Both of them were holding Satoshi's hand in the other universe. But now, in the real world, we see that Satoshi's one hand is in Naomi's hand, and the other hand is in Satoshi's hand. And he himself could not come to this real world. It was because Satoshi did not have the real doll's paper. He had seen Shinozaki being cunning, that she was not giving Naomi the real paper. That's why he changed his paper with Naomi on the pretext. In this way, Naomi came to the real world. She sacrificed herself for her love, and Shinozaki's entire plan failed. In her sorrow, she will spend the rest of her life that she lost her love in her birth. And just by showing this movie ends here. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this movie and what other movies or documentaries you want me to review next. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.